So we have done a lot of world schools format debate, and in all these debates, we have had the reply speaker. So today we're going to go more into reply speaker and understand what exactly it's supposed to do, the order, and basically all the details in it. So what is a reply speech? So the reply speech or the replies is given by the last speaker from each team. So each team consists of three speakers, as we all know, and usually the first or the second speaker is going to deliver the reply speech. And the reply speech is usually for half the time of the regular time. So, according to the World Schools format, a regular speech is for 8 minutes, and hence the reply speech is only for 4 minutes. A reply speech is one of the like one very important speech, as it leaves the last impression on the judges. So, it is very important that your reply speech is very concise, and it is fully protected, that is no POIs can be asked. So it is a very good place for you to summarize and state why your team is winning, but we will get on to that in a few minutes. Before that, so it is usually delivered by the first or the second speaker, and during this time the order is a bit weird, but yeah. So it's usually a proposition speaker and an opposition speaker. So it's proposition speaker one, opposition speaker one, proposition speaker two, opposition speaker two, and then so on till opposition speaker three. But after that, when usually a proposition speaker says, it is the opposition reply speaker and then the proposition reply speaker. So over here, another thing to note is that in these kind of formats, the proposition starts and ends the debate. Okay. Yeah. So what is the main aim or the objective of the reply speech? So the main point of the reply speech is to show the judges that why your team's arguments and points are more relevant and important in the debate. So you don't, and you do so not by repeating what your team has already said, but by proving it. And we prove it in showing first your way, then the other person's way on how they're seeing it, and then show how your way is more superior to the other. And not only this, but the reply, we will get onto that more, but not only this, but the another important point for the reply speech is to make sure all the rebuttals, all the flaws, all the small arguments also, all of these which have been brought up by the opposing team have been completely clarified. So for example, if I think the second last debate topic, that was the House will focus on adapting to the consequences of climate change, then rather trying to prevent it. So over here, if the proposition states that it is using a lot of resources, then the opposition team can easily state in the reply speech that it is way more important than to save the human race and use up a few resources than just trying to quit and not use resources and hence making all the human race perish. So making sure that all the flaws and rebuttals are completely clarified is an important part of the reply speech. So how do you construct a reply speech to make sure it is very effective? Well, firstly, don't try to pre-prepare a reply speech because it all needs to be done within the debate to make sure it is fully effective and it is completely relevant to the speech. Because you need to show that you firstly need to show all the arguments have been clarified. So you will get the arguments only in the debate. And you need to show your points are more superior to the other, and that can also be done only in the debate by finding out what the opposing team is showing. So every speaker has a different and unique way of constructing the reply speech, and it completely depends on your style. However, there is a basic common structure which is followed by all reply speakers. This is as shown. So firstly, in any point or in any argument, you will firstly show what is happening in your world, what is happening in your point, and what is happening in your argument in the real world. And then, in short, you will show what is happening in the opposing team. And you will conclude by stating how what is happening in your world is more relevant, more significant, and more important than what's happening in their world. And hence showing that your point is more superior than the others. For example, in the same topic, where the house focuses on adapting the consequences of climate change, then over here, if the proposition team states that um, that money is there's a lot of wastage of money, then what kind of argument can you give in the reply speech? Rohan? Okay. Ishani?
Sorry.
Okay, go ahead. You can go ahead. Okay. Ishani? Okay, it's okay.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead. What kind of arguments can you give when the propositions team states that there's a lot of money wastage when you're trying to save the world against climate change? Okay, so
I guess you could say that it's more important to like save the world in the future than like the money you're like quote unquote like wasting now, like and compared to like the world, that money's like not so important. So
exactly. So you will first show that in your world, if we try and spend money and try saving the world, then we might actually live for us and for the future generations in a safe manner and in a normalish lifestyle. However, in their world, that means if we do not spend money, then the whole human race might perish as well, or it might become very difficult, like because the UV rays of the sun will go so intense that you will not be able to go outside when it is daylight at all. And hence it is, and when you're telling your world is more significant and relevant, then you will say that it is better to spend money and still live a bit of comfortable lifestyle than either have the whole human race perish or live a very difficult life. And with that, you are showing that your point and your argument over here is stronger. Any questions? Okay. Yeah. So, and when you're doing this with each argument, you can also, and since you're not supposed to repeat what your team has said, then when you are doing, showing how your points are more significant, this will also provide a strong summary for your team.